Taurus, this is your week ahead astrology forecast. I'm going to break everything down for you by decans, Taurus 1, 2, and 3. We're going to review the major planetary transits and aspects so that you can understand how they're impacting your natal sun. So this is all going to be based on where your sun sign is located. Taurus 1s, your sun is located somewhere between 0 and 10 degrees Taurus. Taurus 2s, your natal sun is located somewhere between 10 and 20 degrees Taurus. And Taurus 3s, your natal sun is located somewhere between 20 and 30 degrees Taurus. They're separated into decans traditionally in astrology because basically everything astrology is based on angles, and the angle between people born in early Taurus and the people born in late Taurus is a 30-degree difference or a 29-degree difference. So that's a significant difference as to what its relationship with other planets could be. So we have to break it down to be more specific. This is not a horoscope. I'm not placing your sun at your ascendant sign. And if you are really into astrology, you can superimpose your moon or your sun or your ascendant into anywhere I say your sun. If you know that your sun is at 5 degrees Taurus and I say that that's going to be sextile to something, then you could definitely say, okay, well, my ascendant is at 5 degrees Taurus, then it must be sextile to whatever. And you're right, it would be, but it's not going to have the same relationship. It's not going to emit the same energy that I'm describing. I'm describing it for the sun. FYI, just so that you guys know. So let's start really broad and talk about what Venus is doing. Now, Venus is your ruling dignitary, so of course, whatever she is doing is going to impact you wherever she is. And so what I recommend is that you check your natal chart and see, where is Venus? Venus is in Aries. That is true. Current Venus is in Aries. But where does she land then? Where is Aries? What house is Aries in? Or what house does Aries rule in your chart? Or if it doesn't rule any house, what house does it mostly fall in? Just find that and figure that out, and you'll see where all this action is taking place in your life. Venus is extremely active this week, Taurus. Oh, is she active? She's kind of acting like a hoe. I'm just saying, I'm just going to let you know, because she's got all the gentlemen around her. Okay, let's talk about it. She is going to be sextile to Mars. That is hot. That is like romantic opportunity. Hello. I mean, 100% when Venus and Mars come together, there is that kismet, masculine and feminine, creating the whole. So this could be also very fertile energy. All week long, she is also simultaneously sextile to Saturn. Big Papa Saturn gives structure and maturity. So when you're sextile to Saturn, this is really good because it means you can get down to business and really get stuff done. Now, for her to be sextile to Saturn and sextile to Mars at the same time means that there is serious stuff starting. That there is really anything that you begin around this time, especially relationships and such, are really, really opportunities for something real and true and solid and mature to happen. However, she's got more going on than just two of those fellers. She's also got a square to Pluto this week. So, hello, make a choice, bitch. No, but the square to Pluto adds a kind of gravitas, which means there's challenges in terms of change, in terms of extremes, maybe even in terms of hidden sexuality or sensuality, maybe caught between two different options, or just a sense of things are becoming more serious, and any emotions that have been buried that might cause a little friction. Remember, squares just offer you the opportunity to get better by challenging you. And so there you go. Hold on. By the end of the week, Taurus gets its mama back. So Venus drops into Taurus by really early next week. So it's this on the 16th, and this reading goes from March 9th through the 15th. And I should say that earlier on. I'm sorry. I just jump right into it. So by the 16th, Venus enters Taurus. And that means that Venus is home. And when planets are home, they get really comfortable and really radiant and really confident, but sometimes they can get lazy because they get lackadaisical, like this is where they belong. But any time that Venus comes home in Taurus, it's like la vie en rose. It's like super luxury. There's just this sense of flowers everywhere. Sure, I'll take another piece of cake. Look how gorgeous I am. It's a great time to get your hair did. For those of you who are born early Taurus, like right on the cusp of Aries Taurus, like right over the line, she's going to drop Wednesday, Thursday. You'll start to feel that effect. She's going to become conjunct your natal suns, and oh boy, are you guys going to be beautiful. Like, this is a perfect time for y'all to like get your style on, get your hair did. Like, you're going to have a natural attraction, a natural sense of attraction about you. You're going to be glowing and radiant, and people are going to be naturally attracted to you. So take advantage of it, please. We'll go deeper into that next week, because then you're kind of going to spend the whole week with her, and we'll get into that. But anyway, she's also, because in Taurus, in your house, the North Node is at 5 degrees Taurus. So when she drops into Taurus, she is going to be conjunct to the North Node, which is interesting, because it's like she makes those things that you may have been having trouble with, or she makes your future look a lot more beautiful. She brings a lot more optimism toward where you're headed or where you want to go, right? There's almost like a blessing happening toward that North Node, which is already conjunct the sun. This is like great future stuff, or the future is looking bright, or it's like you have this newfound relationship with, or success rate with, the stuff that you used to feel uncomfortable about. So it could get really beautiful for you guys really quick. Now that we're in Taurus ones, now what Venus is doing is going to impact all of you, no matter where you are. You're just going to feel it, and that's why I said find out what house Aries is in your chart, and find out what house Taurus is in your chart, because it doesn't have to be the first house just because your sun is there. Right? So just find out, because then you'll know really where all this like beauty and value is playing out in your life, because that's the area of your life where you're going to be blessed. Taurus ones. So you are, like I said, square to Pluto. You are also have a semi-square to the sun, the current sun in Pisces. That could cause a little bit of a lack of confidence. So I got to tell you, when Venus conjuncts the North Node and your natal sun, there is such a sense of blessing to maybe that humility that you just had to kind of struggle with just a little bit. There could also be being put a little too much pressure on yourself to be a little bit too beautiful, or it's a little bit too, I don't know, high expectations. It's just like, it's going to be beautiful. So simmer that down. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to waste your time on that. In changes, that's what I wrote down. Lack of confidence in changes. But by the end of the week, when this is for Taurus 1, by the end of the week, it's that semi-square. Your natal sun is going to be semi-square. It's conjunct the North Node, right? It's going to be semi-square to the current sun. So that could just mean minor issues when it comes to confidence. But by the end of the week, when Venus drops in, it'll be all taken care of. You'll be fine. Like, you'll feel beautiful again. And things will just start happening to you that remind you of your value. Just an FYI. So that will definitely be resolved by the end of the week. Taurus 2s. Lots going on for you guys, because your natal sun is already conjunct Uranus. And that is a very dynamic, enigmatic, but also expansive energy of just doing different things, changing, looking for change, rebelling against the norms, questioning the norms. You guys would be like the innovators, or the ones that are really tearing down the traditional systems around you. Your natal sun is going to be sextile to the current sun, but only for 2 days, mostly this week. So that's like today and tomorrow. Mostly this week, Taurus 2s. And for those of you who want to know, it's basically people whose birthdays are between like May 2nd and May 12th. Around there, that would be Taurus 2s. Most of this week, your natal sun is going to be sextile Mercury and conjunct Uranus. So that is brilliant energy. It's like you got the two thinkers, you got the two intelligence, you got the two academics and intellectuals. Like there's just this beautiful sense of really having your mind extremely sharp, since since Mercury is in Pisces, when it's sextile to your natal sun, that's a lot of intuition, a lot of dreaming. Listen to your dreams, because they'll be highly logical and very articulate this week. Right? It's also a sense of really being able to comprehend what those dreams are saying, and being able to be very intuitive and very communicative and trust in your intuition. Very clear, very sharp, lots of opportunities when it comes to communication and intellect, speaking, talking. The fact that you're also conjunct Uranus, it means you're going to think outside the box and be able to communicate it. You're going to have this sense of sort of brilliant ideas about you. And so trust that, because this is honestly probably one of the greatest gifts in terms of innovating your life is going to be happening this week. So use it and take it and stretch it. Hold on a second. For Taurus 3s, we didn't forget about you, believe me. Taurus 3s, your natal sun is going to be trine to Pluto and square to Saturn. Now, trine to Pluto means that you're comfortable with the changes that are happening. You're comfortable with your dark side. There's kind of an ease with your psychic energy, your ability to read people. Nobody will be able to hide anything from you. It's almost like you'll be able to, they'll be transparent to you. And honestly, this has probably been happening to you for a while, because that trine has been happening Pluto doesn't move fast. It's been at the last degrees of Capricorn for a while. So your natal suns have been experiencing a lot of this very kind of deep, churning, brooding, but extremely enticing, and it's just like you can't take your mind off of it, maybe more into dark things, or more comfortable with dark things that you normally would be, and not in a negative way, in a way that just like it doesn't offend you, it doesn't bother you. Finally making peace with maybe some feelings that you've had for a long time, anything you've tried to hide or tried to bury. This would be the era that you have to kind of be able to make peace with all of those things. The square to Saturn won't last as long, but that means that there's some rough patches when it comes to authority figures, rules, laws, or regulations. And that could just come down to people not doing their work fast enough. I blame that on Saturn just dropping into Pisces. For the next week or so, it's going to take major adjustment for Saturn to get ready. So I think that there's sort of like all the authority structure systems here is kind of like ambiguous. It's kind of like it doesn't have the answers that it wants to have. So don't take it personally if you get those headbutts, or you know the paperwork isn't in on time, or something doesn't come back to you fast enough. It will come back. You'll have to chase it down a little bit more. There is potential for having authority figures not necessarily clash with you, but kind of ask a lot more from you than you want to give. And it's just a sense of, it's like it's trying to build a stronger sense of you, right? A stronger sense of, okay, maybe I need to set my own boundaries. Maybe this is the time to do it. Or, okay, maybe I need to up my game a little bit and finish this work and not take it personally, and instead go ahead and take it as a lesson, or this challenge as an opportunity to grow or learn something, or prove that I can do other things. Like all of those things, it just depends on how you look at it, right? I have so much stuff written down. But overall, a very powerful week that revolves around change and really being dynamic. And as soon as Venus hits your natal sign, there is that beautiful energy of beauty and abundance, or at least a feeling of being whole and complete and capable again. Taurus 3s, you'll have to wait about a month before Venus finally reaches you guys. For Taurus 2s, that's about 2 weeks. Or is it like a week and a half? It's probably more like a week and a half to 3 weeks, right? So honestly, I think this is going to be a beautiful month for you. There are some challenging aspects, guys, but I think even those challenging aspects are pretty darn awesome. all in all, a brilliant time for Taurus 2s, a very passionate time for Taurus 1, right? Am I right? Yeah, a very passionate time for Taurus 1 because Venus is dropping in y'all now. By the end of this week. A very passionate time really for all of you because of what Venus is up to and how much activity she's going through this week. So please leave your comments below. I would love to know how all of this is impacting you. Please join me for your tarot card reading that's up every single week. Why did I have to think about that? It's up every single week over on Born Without Boundaries Tarot. And definitely, guys, click like on this video, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel so that you know when I upload all this favorite content over here that I'm going to start creating for you. There's not going to be any more weekly astrology forecast because I do every week. I'm now doing a weekly astrology forecast for every zodiac sign specifically, so we can go into more detail and get just better advice for you guys. Feel free to comment below. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the videos.